Welcome back again, Internet World. So in the same vein as my previous videos, I'm continuing to do some reviews of other videos that I've seen of people's responses really to moving away from the UK and looking for a better life in other countries. Just quickly overview from some of my other videos if you haven't seen any other ones. So I live in Italy, in Rome, and basically I've lived here for 7 years. I was kind of forced to move here after Brexit because I have an Italian girlfriend. We have a 6-year-old daughter. It's a very challenging daughter, possibly got ADHD or autism or something. It's not actually been checked, but anyway, I digress. So I live in Italy, and I have moved here, and I basically discovered that as much as, the sun shines a lot more over here, fruit and vegetables there's a lot more of, and they're probably cheaper. Lots of other things basically have built up over the last 7 years, and I'm not happy here. Ultimately, I've basically come to the conclusion that the grass really isn't greener anywhere in the world. So if you're one of these people that are, ready to jump on a plane to some other country because you think that the UK is broken, then watch all of my other videos on my channel. My previous video, I was reviewing an American guy who had moved to Portugal, and a lot of the things in that video were quite similar to what I've said in a lot of my videos. Things like bureaucracy, cost of living and taxes and all of these sorts of things in Portugal are not really that much better than living in the UK. That's where I got up to. So today I'm reviewing a video. It's not really so much a video of someone who's moved to this country, as in Portugal. I believe he's just kind of gone on a holiday or is gone to get away. It's this guy. I'll put him up on the screen somewhere over here. And the first video I saw of this guy was one of those videos that are jumping on the bandwagon of all of the videos that I see of people that are saying that the UK is broken and that everything's screwed, basically. This gimpy little guy here, Neil McCoy-Ward, with his 90s goatee beard. I don't know, I think from the brief bit of research I've done, I think he's more of like a city trader or some kind of a banking type person. Anyways, 502,000 subscribers, so he's obviously doing something right. This video that I saw the other day that I just put up on the screen, people are rushing to escape. It just went from bad to worse for the UK. And then in the thumbnail, it's got mass exodus. It's got 171,000 views. So I just wanted to focus on this guy, but the actual video that I will be reviewing from his channel is, hold on one second, checks notes. So the video that I want to, first of all, I want to talk about the one where he's discussing Portugal. To me, it's just sensationalism, ultimately. He's jumped on the bandwagon. He's obviously seen a lot of these videos of people going on about the UK. So the first one I saw was this one that I will put up on the screen, to do with the bin mess in Birmingham. And it was a whole load of sensationalism. He basically uses in the title that Britain's turning into a third world country. I mean, literally go to a third world country and then come back to England and tell me if the UK is a third world country. It's just ridiculous sensationalism. As I say in all of these videos, yes, England has a lot of problems, but so do pretty much every country across this whole globe. It's not just one country, the whole world is screwed. Ultimately, we're all spiraling into pure extinction, hopefully. I mean, that's where my brain is at now. I'm so chronically depressed from everything in this world that I'd be quite happy if a great big meteorite just took us all out, just ended this whole planet. It's just an absolute shit show. Anyway, going back to, so the key points, what I've literally done is I've found the transcription from his YouTube video. I've put it into ChatGPT and I've asked it to summarize so I don't have to keep starting. Let me have some water first. So ultimately, a lot of people just seem to think that you can just go off to these sunny countries like a Portugal and that life is just going to be like something out of, what's that film called where she goes to Greece? Is it Shirley Valentine? I think it's Shirley Valentine. She just thinks that people are just going to leg it off to some nice sunny country and everything's just going to be bliss. But reality is something completely different. So in this one, ultimately, he discusses the heavy presence of graffiti throughout the city, even on historic monuments. Numerous closed and abandoned shops, whole streets appear vacant or economically struggling. High frequency of drug use and even drug offers are just as clear as day, people just using drugs out on the street. Now, I believe there's actually I think it's part of the policy in Portugal. I vaguely remember watching a video about it, that they legalised all drugs in an effort to stop drugs or something like that. After that, one aggressive attempted phone snatching, caught on camera, described as a gang incident. The video literally begins with him and I assume it's his girlfriend or his wife, and he's filming on his phone camera. Some gang, first of all, I think they come over and offer him drugs, and they sort of say no, but then someone tries to aggressively take his phone. A man urinates on a statue in public view, signs of urban decay, widespread construction and smashed windows seen throughout the city. Just going back to what I just said about how it begins in this video, I'll read you the actual part from the transcript. So he says, "The guy literally came up to Neil and I backed off, and he grabbed Neil by the back of the neck, and he literally said, 'Give me your phone. Give me your phone.'" That is basically how the video started out. Criminals in Portugal. Again, as I discussed in other videos, people were saying about all the wannabe gangster rappers in London having their knife fights in the middle of in the street. You know, crime happens, especially in cities. It's everywhere. You won't really find anywhere where crime does not happen. It's just everywhere. It surrounds us. People are poor. People are trying to find ways to feed themselves or their families, especially if you're living in a country that has lots of migrants and people that have come. I've said also in other videos, I completely understand the migrant situation. The world, as I say, is screwed. Our countries sell weapons to other countries to bomb the shit out of other countries and people, and they have nothing. They have no homes left. They literally come to the UK. I mean, this is ultimately my main point I want to make of all of these videos. People are saying that the UK is done, it's broken, but why were all of these people, all these migrants and everyone fleeing their countries and coming to the UK? Surely that must tell you something in your head. They're coming to the UK because the UK is actually one of it's a country that has built a great civilization over time. It's basically been broken by the Tories in the last 14 years. And I don't know whether or not, I'm willing to give the Labour Party, they're making a lot of mistakes as it is right at this moment. I'm willing to give them the 4 years to see what happens in 4 years. There's no point in saying now, after they've only just been a year in charge, and people are already saying, oh, they've not done anything, and they've only been in charge for a year. Give them another 3 years and then start making judgments. So getting back to what it's saying again, encounters and conversations. They speak with a local man who has known Lisbon for 50 years. He reflects on how the city has changed post-COVID. It talks about tourism boom, housing crisis, and the homelessness. It expresses sadness over the loss of social life and growing inequality. Happens in every country, inequality. If you're going to run away to Portugal, you're going to find homelessness still there, housing crisis still there. You may go into Portugal with a good amount of money and buy your own house there, but you're taking away from generally actual Portuguese people. You're taking away from their life. You're not really making their life any better. As you'll see, as I always say, with all these people going away to Thailand and Bali, at some stage, it is quite cheap for these people at this moment, but I'm 100% guaranteeing at some stage you'll see prices will start to go up, because people out there have got money to spend, and to waste. So they're going to start putting prices up, because all the English people that have come over that saving, their taxes by going over there, are going to have extra money. So they're going to start overcharging you. And you'll find, I've said at the end of my video about being in Italy, if you're a foreigner in a foreign country, if it was just me on my own taking my car to an Italian garage, then they'd probably increase the prices. They'd put an extra tax on just because I'm foreign, and they're just trying to exploit me. Luckily, my girlfriend, who's Italian, deals with the car, and she doesn't necessarily get ripped off by other Italian people. So you'll see that. So contrasts in the city. Some areas are vibrant, full of people, cafes and beauty. Others are run down and deserted. A strong juxtaposition between beautiful sights and urban decay, e.g. gorgeous views next to filth and trash. A great picture, actually. I'll probably try and find it and I'll stick it up here somewhere, of the rubbish in Italy. And you can see the Colosseum in the background with all the rubbish. Now, people say, I got into a discussion with someone and they basically said that all the rubbish is from the tourists. In response to that, again, if I can find it, I will put a picture or a video up here of my local area, which is not a tourist area of Italy. This is the rubbish. Generally, they have a rubbish issue. I mean, that's, I guess, how this guy, Neil, whatever his face is saying about with Birmingham. From what I gather, it's because of a strike to do with the bin men. They want some better pay. They see all of these people from the higher ups in the company getting all of their profits, but then all the actual people that do the work, the people at the bottom are not getting a good proper wage. So they're striking and they're not doing the rubbish. Here in Italy, my understanding of it is the bin people are ultimately being controlled by mafia, I guess, and the mafia are just taking a lot of the money that they get given, I guess, from the government and the council. And people aren't really doing the job. I find this a lot here in Italy anyway. People are just generally quite lazy. They're just not really massively hard workers. They spend a lot of time drinking coffee, smoking fags. Workmen in England do that as well, to be fair, but I just find that no one's in a rush to do anything here. I find a lot more of a rush, for people in England doing stuff, and they tend to have trading standards. In England, you don't want to get some kind of a bad review on Trustpilot or whatever for your plumbing services. You want it to actually be a good job, otherwise you're going to get a bad review and people aren't going to want to hire you. But over here, they don't have those sorts of things. This is my whole point. In the UK, at least we have some of these systems and such like put in place. What's next? The safety commentary. So they were basically attacked by someone who was trying to steal their phone. It says the attacks left them shaken and more vigilant. Emphasis that danger exists in every big city. It's all about knowing where to go and being cautious, ultimately. It's the same in Rome. There's certain parts of Rome that you just shouldn't really go because it's just immigrants everywhere from everywhere. Africa, Middle East, Turkey, just all of them. You find a lot of them are Romany gypsies as well, and they're all at war with each other. They've all started their own little mafias, their own little gangs. So you tend to find, everywhere really that you go. That's why, for me, I used to complain about my hometown, but I just count down the days until I next have to go, or next, I say it like I'm being forced, but next time I am lucky enough to board a plane and go back to my hometown, I look forward to it every single time just to see beautiful green trees and flowers in the middle of a roundabout. Do you know what I mean? It's just like where I live. To be fair, where I live used to be Theresa May's constituency, so I don't know if it has something to do with that. I guess so. But most roundabouts where I come from, the town of Maidenhead, have just got beautiful flower arrangements in the middle of the roundabout that are well kept and looked after by companies. Most you'll find in the middle of a roundabout here in Italy is dog shit and wasted plastic, probably a burnt out scooter or something, who knows. So despite issues, they still love Lisbon, especially the sunshine, architecture and general vibe. Yeah, basically, just to reiterate, need to stay in safe areas and be alert. That was ultimately the review of that video. Portugal isn't, particularly much nicer. As I said again previously, a previous video of other I think it was the conclusion and things to add after my top 10 videos of, you may think that going to a nice sunny country is just amazing, but when it's just constant sun and heat, you get to a point like I have that you just actually pray for rain. So all of those people that are all saying, oh, it's just so, the rain all the time in England, it's just grey and horrible all the time. To an extent, be thankful for that. You do still have sunshine and a summer. And again, as I said in that same video, English people tend to just moan and complain. I think most people generally moan and complain, but English people are great at it. But they moan and complain, so they complain that it's always grey and rainy all the time. As soon as the sunshine comes out, they're all loving it for a couple of days. Then it gets to a heat wave and people are just like, oh, it's too hot. Oh, it's too hot. I can't. They just can't deal with it. That's exactly how I've become. English bodies are not conditioned to spend all of their life in such heat. You do need some kind of rain and the temperatures to go down occasionally. When it comes to the summertime, it's not so bad now, but when it's proper August, I wouldn't even be wearing this t-shirt. It would be stuck to me. It would just be complete, I'd be drenched. I'd literally get into the shower to try and get the sweat off. The moment I step out from the shower, I'm dripping with sweat again. No point to put clothes back on again. It's just disgusting. I just feel so uncomfortable all the time. I look forward to actually going back for an English summer, maybe spend a week of sunshine and 2 weeks of rain. I actually don't mind it. It's not as if I can go out, all the time. I spend a lot of the time in my parents', and occasionally I might, if the sunshine is out, I'll go and kick a ball around with my nephew. But be careful what you wish for, ultimately. That was the review of Neil McCoy-Ward video about Portugal. So signing off for this one. Laters.